Hello, Power of One. I am excited to be here with you guys today for Fab Friday. I am just pulling up my cheat sheet because I want to make sure that I don't forget to tell you anything because, that's kind of important. All right. Because you guys, even though I've been doing this for 26 years, I still use notes. I still have a cheat sheet because I want to make sure I bring the absolute best to my customers every single time. So I don't want to forget anything. The best public speakers in the world use notes. So don't think that you have to know everything. Use notes, have it handy, share it with your customers, right? It also helps people to see that they could do what you do because you don't have to memorize everything. You can have notes and use that. I have to tell you guys, this is my favorite water bottle. I wish we sold it all the time. It's a 1 liter bottle. It fits in the cup holder in my car, which I love. So my goal every day is to drink 4 of those. I'm way behind today. I got to get busy. I'm on number 2. All right. So today we're going to talk about Fab Friday. So my friends, if you're coming on to watch, make sure you give me a shout out in the comments and say hello. Tell me your name. Today's Fab Friday. Fab stands for features, advantages, and benefits. So when you go to talk about a product, you want to make sure you share the features of that product. You want to talk about the advantage of that feature. Why is that feature beneficial? And then the B is the benefit to the consumer. So how is it going to help them in their kitchen? What's the practical use for that? How's it going to save them time, space, waste, or money in their kitchen? So you want to remember Fab. Now, the other thing I want to tell you, when you go to demonstrate a product, you don't need to tell them everything about it. Pick your 3 to 5 favorite features, benefits, share that with the customer, because if it's your favorite and you're passionate and excited about it, then they're going to get passionate and excited about it. And remember, the average person will only remember 3 things that you tell them anyway. So if you share 3 things with them, 3 features, that's what they're going to remember. All right. So I'm actually going to be sharing with you today 2 things. We're going to be talking about the stack cooker, one of my favorite, most used products in my home. And we're also going to be talking about Fridgesmart. So we'll get to that in just a minute. I'm going to start with the stack cooker real quick because I'm actually going to cook some ground beef in here and I want to talk about this. This is a product I use constantly. So let me show you the basics of the stack cooker. So your basic stack cooker is 3 casseroles stacked together. You've got a 3 liter, a 1 3/4 liter, and a 3-quart casserole. Can be used as a casserole or it can be used as a cover. All right, on top. So 3 liter, 1 3/4, 3-quart liter. There. That's your basic stack cooker. It also comes with a couple accessory pieces. So there is a colander. This is probably one of my favorite parts about the stack cooker. So the colander can fit inside the 1 3/4. It can also fit inside the 3 liter. All right. Now, we're going to use the colander today. We're going to talk about that. But let me just talk quick about the stack. All right. Oh, sorry. Second accessory that it comes with is this cone. And this cone is designed to fit in the bottom of the 3 liter. All right, just like that. So it makes it into like a cake pan. An angel food cake pan is what it looks like, or a bun pan. It can also go in the middle of the little guy if you want to, the middle size, the 3 liter one. Why would I use it in that one? I mean, it's not big enough for a cake or anything. But what this does, this material that your stack cooker is made of, it's called Tupperwave. And it allows microwaves to pass right through without penetrating, without the microwaves being absorbed into the material at all. So things like glass, ceramic, your Corningware, things like that, they actually absorb about 20% of your microwave energy into them. So if you've ever noticed, you go to take that glass dish out of the microwave and it's super, super hot. That's because the dish actually absorbed about 20% of the microwave energy and it heated it up first before it ever got to your food. So the advantage of the stack cooker is it doesn't absorb any of that microwave energy. It's going to allow it to just pass right through the container and right to the food, which is super important. It helps to cook food faster and it's more energy efficient that way. All right. So by putting the cone in the middle of your 1 3/4 or your 3 liter, if it's something that's really dense, like let's say you've got a soup or a chili or something like that, before I dumped it into my stack cooker to reheat, I'd put the cone in there and then dump my chili or soup or whatever in there to reheat, because it's going to allow the microwaves to pass through the middle as well as from the outside. So it's going to allow your food to reheat faster. Okay, so that's the advantage of the cone. But of course, it also makes a beautiful cake pan. So we can do angel food cake in the microwave in like 4 minutes. You could do like a Black Forest cake in here. It takes about 9 to 11 minutes, depending on your microwave. 3 ingredients. I love it. I just thought I should have made a cake today, but I'm not going to make a cake. We're going to get this going right away. And then I'll talk a little bit more about it. So I'm going to be using the colander inside the 3-liter today because I'm starting my meal prep for next week. And one of the things that I love to do is pre-cook some of my ground beef and have it in the freezer ready to go, because I don't eat a whole pound of ground beef myself, and I'm kind of watching what I eat. So I need to just, measure out a certain portion, 30 grams at a time or whatever it is. So I freeze it ahead of time. So I'll cook it and then freeze it. And then I can just scoop out what I need. And that way it'll last, like if I do a pound just for myself, this will usually last me about 2 weeks, just in my individual meal prepping. Now, the other reason I cook it ahead of time and then freeze it again, I mean, how many of us have families, right? And we're busy. Like Wednesdays are a horrible day for me, or a busy day, not a horrible day. It's a great day. I get to see you guys, but it's a busy day, right? The kids get off school at 3:15. We have to be back on the road by 4. And so having stuff like the ground beef already cooked ahead of time makes really easy, fast meals for me, right? I can pull that ground beef out, throw it into the frying pan, throw it into my stack cooker, my pressure cooker, whatever I need to do. Add some sauce to it, add some pasta, and I can have dinner on the table in like 15 minutes, really super fast that way. So doing that ahead of time also helps for that in a hurry kind of meals. So what I have here is a pound of ground beef. Just going to throw it in here. I just realized that I don't know what I did with my spatula. Hang on. Got to find the spatula. Don't know where I put it. We'll use this one, a new one. Okay. So this is the freezer small deep. Love this size. I use them a lot. So I'm actually I freeze it in there. So I buy it bulk at the store, 10-pound ground beef, or even better, I buy it bulk from my butcher, because I'll buy a steer in the spring. Thank you to Twyla and her family this year. I got my steer from them through 4-H. And we'll just freeze it, right? Large quantities. If I buy big quantities, I'll break it up into smaller containers. It is more economical for you if you're going to Costco or somewhere. Buy the family pack, the great big 10-pound packs of your ground beef, split it up into like that 1 to 1.5 pounds, whatever your family would use, and then freeze it, right? It's going to be cheaper than buying individual 1-pound packages all the time. Okay, so I have the ground beef in here. Now you'll notice I put it into a circle. Well, it didn't stay in a circle, but it's in a circle. Reason for this, really important. Microwaves only penetrate about 1 to 1.5 inches into your container. So again, think the cone in the middle, right? The stuff in the middle isn't getting the same microwave energy as the stuff on the outside. So by putting it in a ring like that, it's going to allow microwaves to also penetrate from the edges in the inside and on the outside. It's going to allow for more even cooking of your food that way. So I've put it into my 3-liter. The colander's inside the 3-liter. I'm going to stick this in the microwave. I could put the cover on it. All right. So it's covered, so it's not going to splatter and everything all over there. And the rule is 6 minutes on high per pound to do my ground beef. So let's get that started, and then I'll talk about the rest of the stack cooker. All right. Okay, so I only have one piece of my stack cooker left. I should have grabbed a second one. I actually have 2 of them in my kitchen all the time. So some features, advantages, and benefits of your stack cooker. First, it's round. So the most efficient microwave container will always be round. because that allows for even reheating, right? It penetrates the food, penetrates your container the same way all the way around. If you have something that's square or rectangle, right? It's the corners are rounded, but they're going to get microwaves coming from both sides, whereas the stuff on the side is only getting it from one side. So not your most efficient type, and don't put this in the microwave. This is a freezer container, has little snowflakes on the side to tell you don't put me in the microwave. I'm only for cold. Okay, so don't use that. But as an example, it's a square container. It's not as efficient as something that's round. Another feature of our stack cooker is it has little feet on the bottom. And you'll actually see on all of our microwave products, they have these little feet. And the purpose behind that is to lift the container just ever so slightly up off the bottom of the microwave. And it allows the microwave energy to pass from the bottom as well as the sides and the top. So you're getting 360 degrees all the way around. The microwaves are able to enter this container and cook your food. So looking for a microwave container, always make sure it has little feet on the bottom that lift it up just that little bit out of the container. So it's going to allow you to cook your food faster, and it's going to reheat more evenly. Feature, the little feet. The advantage, lifts it up out of the microwave, right off the bottom of the microwave, so the microwaves can pass from the bottom, the sides, and the top. The benefit, it cooks your food faster and more evenly. Are you guys catching on to features, advantages, and benefits? All right. Another feature of our stack cooker are the handles. They have stay cool handles, because remember, the microwaves don't penetrate into this container, right? They're not being absorbed by the container. So if there's no fat, sugar, or water on your handle, the microwaves are just passing through, not being absorbed, not generating any heat. And so they stay cool, which is a great benefit, right? Those stay cool handles, you don't have to worry about bulky oven mitts. You can handle it easily in and out of the microwave, right? So again, it's just a great safety feature to have those stay cool handles. So we've talked about the round is a great feature. We've talked about the holes on the bottom, or the bumps on the bottom, the feet. We've talked about the stay cool handles. Another great feature is the stacking ability. So unfortunately, I've got it in the microwave now, but the 3 pieces stacked together allow you to cook an entire meal in your microwave all at the same time. So your 3 liter, those are the foods that need, that's where you put your starch. So your potatoes, your rice, things like that. Your middle layer, because if you're just cooking meat in your microwave, your middle layer is like a medium kind of setting in your microwave if you have it stacked together. And so that's where you want to put your meats. Again, remember, arrange the most dense part of them to the outside of the container, arrange them in a circle if at all possible. You want to put your meats in the middle. If you're just going to cook meat on its own, all right, let's say I want to put some chicken breast or something in there, you want to drop your power on your microwave to a medium setting, like 5 or a 7. All right. And just know it's going to take a little longer, way less time than it would in your oven or on your stovetop, but maybe a little bit longer, because if you drop it to medium, it's going to allow it to reheat more efficiently. It's going to cook. You're not going to end up with hockey puck chicken breasts. They're going to be nice and tender and juicy. So just remember, cook them on medium if you're cooking by themselves. If you're doing it in the stack, put your meats into your middle layer. And then your top layer, which was the cover or the 3-quart casserole, that is where I would put maybe like peas or carrots, like a veggie, right? That can go on top, and it doesn't necessarily need to boil it, anything like that. I'm just going to put my veggie, or sometimes I'll put fruit on top, and then I'll make a cobbler out of it. So I'll have my starch and my protein. I'll have a salad on the side, and then we got a cobbler or something for dessert. So by stacking it together, you can do that entire meal. And the great thing is you can prepare it ahead of time. Have it in the fridge, right? Those busy, crazy days, come home, grab the stack, throw it in the microwave, 20 minutes later, dinner's on the table. So I love that. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll be sharing lots of different uses of the stack cooker, and we'll prepare a stack cook meal for you too over the next few weeks. Now, they can also all be used individually, which you saw in there. We could do cakes in the 3 liter. I could make soups. My chicken tortilla soup is one of my favorites. We can also take and, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. We can use the middle one. This one is great for just doing a chili or a sauce or something like that. I quite often will do my onions and my garlic. I'll saute them in here. It's way faster than on my stovetop. So I'll just put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom, my chopped onion, my chopped garlic, sit it in there about a minute to a minute and a half in my microwave, and my onions are sauteed perfectly. So I love this size for that as well. And then of course the cover can be used just for something small as a casserole. You can use it as a cover. If you're using the cover as a casserole, just put a piece of wax paper over top. All right, if you want a cover on it. So yeah, those are some of my favorite things about the stack cooker. Oh, and perfect timing. It's going to beep. Here we go. Now, I want to share with you something that I think is super important about doing your meats in the microwave. All right. Because, oh, it beeped. It's done. So, oh, we go and we open it up right away and we go and we look at it. Now, it looks done. It looks pretty good. That was 6 minutes. Okay. Hang on. Let's just move that. But I'm going to just cut into it a little bit. Actually, this is probably perfect. Oh, no. Okay. Look what happens. Okay. So we cut into it. Can you guys see that it's a little bit pink in there still? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I can get the right angle. It's a little bit pink. Okay. So our first tendency is, oh my gosh, I got to throw it back in the microwave. It's not cooked. When you cook in the microwave with your stack cooker, you need to let the food stand for about 20% of its cooking time because it's going to continue to cook. Because here's how microwaves work. So the microwave needs a fat, a sugar, or a water molecule in order for it to heat up and cook your food. So unlike conventional methods like on your stovetop where you have to heat up your burner and then it heats up the pan and then it heats up the food. When you're cooking in the microwave, those little microwaves come out of this little panel here. We call it the magnetron, and they bounce around inside that metal box that we call your microwave. Okay. So microwaves can't pass through metal. They bounce around in that box looking for a fat, sugar, or water molecule. When they find one of those things, they give it a little jolt. So imagine a room full of children sitting perfectly still. Okay, it only happens very rarely. But just imagine with me, okay? Room full of children sitting perfectly still. One child starts to move, right? She starts to fidget a little bit. What happens to the children around her? They start to fidget and they start to move, and then so on and so on and so on, right? You guys have seen this happen. And so that that molecule bumps into that fat or in the ground beef, gives it a little jolt. It starts to vibrate. It starts to move. And then it bumps up against the molecule next to it and it starts to move. And pretty soon they're all moving and bumping and rubbing against one another. Everybody do that real fast with your hands. What happens? It gets hot. And that's how your food is actually cooked in the microwave. So those molecules start to vibrate from the microwave energy. They vibrate, start to rub against one another, and they create their own heat, which creates the heat to cook the food. The microwave itself doesn't generate heat. The microwave energy interacts with your food and causes it to create its own heat, which cooks your food. So by the law of inertia, right, things that are in motion will continue to be in motion until something causes them to stop or they lose energy. So even though the microwave turned off, those little molecules are still moving. And they're going to continue to move and slow down and lose energy. So the food is still cooking even as those molecules start to lose their energy. So that's why the cooking time is so, so important. Now, guys, you wouldn't have to go through that whole science lesson with your hosts and your customers at your party, but make sure you're telling them, let your food stand for about 20% of your cooking time in order to allow the food to continue cooking. So let's just take a quick, you guys can see the steam still coming off of there. It's beautiful. Let's just kind of chop into here. You guys will see now that those pink pieces are gone. They have cooked. And if they didn't, I would put it back in for maybe 1 minute at a time. I wouldn't do any more than that. So can you guys see? Oh, hang on. I shouldn't do that because it's going to drip all over, and I'm going to show you what's in there in a minute. So now I let it stand for that couple minutes while I was talking. It's finished cooking. So there's no pink pieces left in there. And I just thought of one thing that I wanted to show you guys. Grab this and this and this. Okay. Supersonic chopper. Can't live without it. Got to have it. Use it every single day. Okay. It's always usually by the sink. So one thing you guys can see, there's stuff dripping off the bottom of that, right? That's all that blood and fat and water that if I didn't cook it in my stack cooker, it ends up in the bottom of my frying pan and it cooks back into my food. Take a look, you guys. Can you see? I think you can probably see the level in there. Let me see if I can find something to pour it into. Oh, this will work. Okay. All of that stuff would end up on my hips. Look at all the fat and the gunk and the water and the blood and all the grossness that comes off of that. That was lean ground beef, you guys, like a super lean cut of beef. Look at all that stuff coming off of there. And I love this part of my stack cooker. It washes up beautifully. Things don't stick. Just going to throw all that gunk, oh, gross, into there. Okay, like look at how beautiful that is. It's going to be so easy to clean now. And look at all the garbage that came off of that pound of ground beef. We're just going to set that aside. Okay, we're going to get that out of the way. Now, love my supersonic chopper when I'm doing my ground beef. It is my best friend. I'm going to take and throw this ground beef into here because it's big chunks. I don't want big chunks of ground beef. I'm going to use it in sauces and in salads and things like that. So I want it to be nice and uniform in size, smaller pieces. So I've just put it into my supersonic chopper, my extra. Oh gosh, I forgot the ring. Where's my ring? Hang on. See, I tell you, it's always in the sink because I use it constantly. There we go. Put my ring on, put this on top. Make sure you line it up. If it does that, it's just because it's not lined up. There we go. Give it like 5, 6 pulls. There's 3, 4, 5. And check it out. My ground beef is now nice and chopped and beautiful. I have another freezer made container here. I'm going to dump it into here right now. There's my pound of ground beef ready to go. I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I put the cover on and put it into the freezer. But now I have that pound of ground beef. I can grab from it whenever I need to. If I just need a little bit, I need a lot. Good to go. Okay. Whew. There we go. How many of you are learning something about the stack cooker today? Are you guys glad you're here? Give me a shout out in the chat if you're still watching. I got a couple people. I think Shelly's there hanging tight with me. I love it. So stack cooker. Hope you guys learned a little bit about it. Setting it aside and out of the way. I will deal with it later. All right. Let's talk now about Fridgesmart. All right. And, you know, doing that ground beef like that, if you wanted right away, you could have turned that into an easy cheesy beef nacho dip. So I could have thrown that cooked ground beef into the 1 3/4 quart, the middle size piece, added some salsa and some grated cheese, put it back in the microwave for about another 3 to 4 minutes. And it makes this beautiful, ooey, gooey, yummy nacho type dip. It is so good. Okay. But we're going to talk Fridgesmart. Now, mind me, guys, my Fridgesmart are a little empty because today's actually grocery day and I have not gone shopping yet. But you guys can see lots of Fridgesmart in my refrigerator, okay? And you can see they're empty because even when my Fridgesmart are empty, they stay in my fridge. So let me just pull them out real quick and I'll show you guys what I have, what I'm doing in here. Okay, and you'll see which sizes I use a lot for my family. Right? Lots of Fridgesmart in my fridge. And there's even more, but we'll leave them in there for a second. And I'll talk about those two in a sec. So let's close the fridge up for a minute and let's talk. So who has Fridgesmart at home? Anybody have Fridgesmart? Yeah, a couple people. Hey, Barb. Yay. All right. So the Fridgesmart basic set, I have a little stool here, consists of 4 pieces. You have your Fridgesmart medium deep, your Fridgesmart medium, and 2 Fridgesmart small deeps. That comes in your basic set. So you can see here, I put just a small thing of romaine lettuce that was left over, went into that one. Always store my peppers in my Fridgesmart. These 2 are my spinach and my salad. Okay, my pre-mixed salad go into here, my salad blend. So I use those. I love the little guys. I got blueberries in there. Love the little ones when I just have a few berries, things like that left. I buy the bigger pint. Those are my raspberries because I use those every day in my oatmeal. This one is empty. This one is also for berries. This one typically has some blackberries in it. So I need to buy those. That reminds me that I don't have them. There's also a couple more of this size in there. One that has strawberries because we always have strawberries in our fridge. Another one for grapes when they're, not so expensive. Right now they're a little pricey. And then I have carrots and I have my cucumbers. And we're going to talk about those 2 things in a minute. So let me just put these back. Actually, no, before I put them back and before I start talking about Fridgesmart, I'm just going to tell you guys one great little tip right now. Cucumbers. How many of you have reached into your crisper/limper drawer and went to grab your cucumber and your fingers went right through it because it was so soft and mushy and disgusting, right? Your cucumbers, especially English cucumbers are very antisocial. There's a reason why they're wrapped in plastic at the store because they don't like to touch anything else. So always store your cucumbers by themselves. My English cucumbers, I leave the plastic wrap on them because they really are antisocial. They don't like to touch. So that's kind of an exception to the rule. In your Fridgesmart, normally you put things into here naked. So take the plastic wrap, take them out of their plastic bags, things like that. Cucumbers are the one and only thing that I leave wrapped in plastic. I find they don't like to touch. So if they don't touch one another, they're going to last longer. The other advantage of putting your fruits and vegetables into your Fridgesmart containers is, as opposed to just bags of stuff thrown in the crisper drawer, is they don't get bruised, right? Because these are solid containers. So if they're bumping into something else, they're not going to get bruised. Whereas my cucumber, if it's sitting in my crisper drawer and the kids drop apples in there, bruising that cucumber. And that's how your fruit starts to spoil. When it gets a bruise on it, that's kind of where it starts to spoil from. So the more it gets bruised, the faster it spoils. All right, let's just set these little guys aside for a second. And actually, I'm going to stick them back in the fridge. Just a reminder, this is your Fridgesmart small. You buy those separate. These are the Fridgesmart minis. This is actually a host thank you gift. So you can see 2 minis would fit on top of a small. So it's a beautiful modular system. You can put the smalls right on top of your small deeps. Your smalls, 2 of them fit on top of your mediums. Your mediums fit on top of one another. They create this beautiful modular stack. So depending how much space you have in your fridge, you can stack them as high as you need to. Just going to stick all this back into the fridge right now. You guys can see it's kind of like Legos for ladies. Oh, and this has my carrots in it. They will last indefinitely in your Fridgesmart, which I love. All right, so we can just stack them up. Looking good in there, my friends. All right, let's talk Fridgesmart for a second. How many of you have thrown something away out of your fridge in the last week? Right? How many of you go through the weekly process of clean out the crisper drawers, throw it in the garbage, go to the grocery store, fill them back up? Did you know that every time you do that, you're throwing away on average about $100 a month? Okay, an average family of 4 throws away about $100 a month just on their grocery bill, just on their produce, right? All those things they're throwing away. You add in the deli meats and the cheeses to that, and you're probably adding another $25 to $30 a month goes in the garbage because the foods are spoiling before we eat them. They're not lasting. The beauty of Fridgesmart is I can know with confidence, I can put my peppers, my strawberries, I can put them in here and they're going to last anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, depending what they are. And there's a few rules of thumb that go along with that. So the Fridgesmart system was designed to extend the life of our produce and help reduce food waste. Food waste is one of the biggest economic or environmental disasters of our era. It really, truly is. The amount of food that gets thrown into our landfills every single year is atrocious. Make sure you guys join me on P1 University, the very first class. We talk a little bit about these systems and the benefits of them. And we talk specifically about food waste in that class. So make sure you guys join me there to learn a little bit more about it. But throwing, putting that stuff into our landfill. So we want to reduce that. We want to make our fruits and vegetables last longer. That's going to save us money because we're not doing that weekly ritual of empty the crisper drawer, fill it back up, throw it away a week later. Every time you do that, just imagine you're throwing toonies and loonies into the garbage with it, right? That's all you're doing. You're throwing money away. So we want to keep your money in your wallet. We don't want you throwing it away into your trash just because your food's spoiled. And Fridgesmart's going to help you to do that. So how does Fridgesmart do that? It has an atmosphere controlled environment. This was actually done in study with the University of Florida. It was years of study, and they came up with containers that created the perfect environment for your fruits and vegetables to stay fresh longer. This awesome little slider on top of here creates ACE, your atmosphere controlled environment. This little slider on top determines the airflow in your container, because one thing they discovered is that just like human beings, fruits and vegetables breathe differently, right? I mean, let's be honest. If you've ever spent any time with my husband, you would know he is a heavy breather. I can hear Kevin breathing when he's sitting on the couch across the room. Okay. Not so a heavy breather. Okay. We all are a little bit different. And I don't know about you guys, but heavy breathers and light breathers, they don't mix so well, right? Like Kevin starts to snore and I want to smother him with his pillow. So we want to keep those heavy breathers separate from the light breathers, and then everybody's happy. It's the same with our fruits and vegetables. So if you look on the front of your containers, it tells you what's a heavy breather. That would be something that would need both vents open. What's a medium breather? One vent open, one vent closed. And what's a light breather? That means both vents closed because it's not giving off as much. Okay, so you just slide it on the top, right or left, or to the middle. That's perfectly closed, depending on what you have put into your container. So that little slider is going to help to keep your fruits and vegetables fresher longer. Now, a couple other features of the Fridgesmart that are also helping to keep your fruits and vegetables fresh longer. I'll just pick this one. So the bottom, see these little grids on the bottom of your Fridgesmart containers? Those little grids are designed to keep your fruit and vegetables sitting up out of the bottom of the container. And when there's moisture accumulating in here, which is a good thing, and we'll talk about that in a second, when you see moisture accumulating, the moisture is going to sit in these little corners down here, and your fruit and vegetable is not going to be sitting in it. If it had a flat bottom and that moisture was accumulating, all of your fruit and vegetable would be sitting right in all of that water. And that actually helps spoil faster. So we don't want it to do that. We want to keep it out of that extra moisture, extra water that's in there. Okay. Now, grids on the bottom, rounded corners, again, modular design. It's going to save us space in our fridge. We can stack them up. They have see-through sides, so you can tell what's in your container all the time, which is a huge, huge benefit. I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing worse than going into the fridge and going, oh, what's in that bowl? And I'm afraid to open the top, right? Because I don't know what's in that bowl. When I can see what's in there, it makes me so much happier. All right, so let's see. We've talked about the vent on the top. We've talked about the pictures on the side that tell us exactly how to open and close our vents. We've talked about the grids on the bottom. We've talked about the modular design and how they all fit together in here. Now, let me share with you a couple little tips. So first, this is your basic Fridgesmart set. All right, let's turn this around. Whoop, like that. All right, basic Fridgesmart set. This 4-piece set is what I would encourage everyone to start with, because this set is going to get you your basics in your fridge. Now, you can see by my fridge, we use a lot more than just 4 pieces of Fridgesmart, but it starts somewhere. Purchase a set and then have a party and get your second set for free or half price. All right. Average families are going to use at least 2 sets in their kitchen. So purchase one and then have a party, get one for free or half price that way. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about fridge and how I store it and what I do. Now, you guys heard me say that when you put things into your Fridgesmart, you want to take them out of the wrappers. You also want to, for me personally, I try and wash most of my fruits and vegetables before I put them in the fridge, because I want to know that my kids can just go to the fridge and grab something and it's clean and it's good and it's ready to go. Someday I challenge you to look up the Dirty Dozen. It's going to tell you the 12 dirtiest fruits and vegetables that are out there, the ones that use the most pesticides and have that pesticide residual on them. For that reason, I'm going to wash my fruits and vegetables before I store them, before I eat them, definitely, because I want to make sure that they're going to be nice and clean for my family, and we're going to get rid of most of that. Now, I have cauliflower here, okay? And I have a bowl of water. Normally, when I grocery shop, I just fill my sink about half full of water, come home from the grocery store, put my vegetables into that, my fruits into that, give them a swish and give them a little bath there. Now, if I just put them into warm water, they would just be having a nice little, warm bath. But I don't want to just give them a bath. I want them to get clean. It's kind of like our kids, right? We send them to the tub or the shower. We always ask, did you use soap? Did you actually wash yourself? Right? It's kind of the same thing. So I don't want to just put it in just water. So I'm actually going to use, who has squeeze-it bottles? I love my squeeze-it bottles. Use them all the time. Come on and open. Okay. Love my squeeze-it bottle. This one just has white vinegar in it because it's so much easier for me to grab this than to have to pull this out all the time. I can store this away in the bottom of the pantry, and I can have this one sitting by the sink all the time, ready to go, because vinegar is going to help to kill the mold and the spores, the mold spores, the bacteria that might be growing on my food. It also helps to lift off those pesticides that could still be clinging to my fruits or vegetables. So I would just I'm going to give it a couple squirts of vinegar into there. You don't need tons. In my sink, half full of water, I'd probably add about half a cup of vinegar. All right, that's going to make a nice bath. Now, a couple other must-have tools when I am prepping for the week. These little mini cutting boards, oh my gosh, they are the best. They hardly ever end up in my cupboard because I use them all the time. And I love the serrated utility knife. It is the bomb diggity. I'm just going to quickly cut the leaves off of my cauliflower here. All right. And I'm going to just cut my cauliflower up real quick because I want to just drop it into this water, give it a good wash, and then I'm going to lay it out on my counter in microfiber because I want it to dry before I put it in here. So when you're putting your fruits and vegetables into your Fridgesmart, you want them going in there naked and dry. All right. So make sure if they had a nice little bath, maybe you don't have time to wash them and you just want to get them stored. Make sure if they had a nice little bath at the grocery store, you know how the sprinklers come on, make sure you take and dry them off before you store them. If you're going to wash them like I am, make sure you let them sit out so they dry off. Really, really important because any extra moisture is also going to cause them to spoil faster. Okay. So just put my cauliflower in there, and give it a little swirl. And I'm probably not going to be able to show you guys, but maybe you'll be able to see. There was actually a whole bunch of yucky black dirt and stuff all over it. So I took that plastic bag off, right? If I brought it home and left it in that plastic bag and had thrown it into my fridge, it's sitting in all that dirt and stuff still. That's not going to keep it nice and fresh. So by doing this in here, and cauliflower is actually one of the cleaner vegetables, guys, so it's really not going to have tons of pesticide and stuff on it, but it is going to clean everything off. The first time you do this, buy grapes. Do this with grapes. I don't have any grapes today, so I can't show you, but your grapes should always come off the stem. So take the time to pick them off the stem before you go to store them. Wash them, put them in the vinegar and the warm water, give them their bath, right? Take them out, put them onto a microfiber towel, let them air dry. Pour that water, I do it in a clearly elegant bowl or pour that water into a clear glass. You will be absolutely disgusted by how dirty the water is when you do your grapes. So I challenge all of you to wash your grapes with some vinegar and warm water this week, and then show us a picture of how dirty your grapes were. Let's see pictures of that water, right? So that's a great visual too, guys, to capture. So, wash it, dump the water into a glass, and then have your clean grapes sitting beside that dirty water with a caption that says, "So glad I washed my grapes," right? Because that's gross. So show them that water. So you guys can't really see, but there's like dirt, speckles of stuff in here. So I'm just going to take these out now. I'm going to lay them on my counter. I love my microfiber towels because they absorb so much water. Just going to lay them out here so they'll just dry. And I do this with all my fruits and vegetables. So it's just kind of a routine, right? I buy the fruits and veggies. I bring them home. I wash them, lay them out on the counter. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see. There's dirt and stuff in the bottom of the bowl that came off my cauliflower, which quite honestly, to my naked eye, once I took the leaves off of it, it looked pretty clean. So I wasn't too worried about it. I'm just going to use my microfiber here. Give these guys a good bath. Can't find my cauliflower container. Oh, there it is. Now, a couple other things. Let me show you. And I use cauliflower a lot. I'm speeding this up. Normally, I would have left it just sit on the counter, but I'm just going to show you. Cauliflower goes into my Fridgesmart small deep. I will actually take later on this week. I eat it raw. I normally have about 2 heads in here, so I need to go buy another head of cauliflower. Look on the front. My cauliflower is half open, half closed. So I'm going to turn it all the way to the side. It was already there. Put it back into my fridge. I usually have 1 head that sits, I forgot a piece, that is in my fridge, in my Fridgesmart. So I just grab it and eat it. My kids don't eat it, but I do. And then I rice the other part. So I just use the Grape Master and I throw it into my Grape Master and shred it up. And then I use it in my mashed potatoes. Kids are eating cauliflower. They don't even know it. I will actually just take and cook some cauliflower in a frying pan. And it's like rice then. It's amazing. That taco meat, the meat that I had, I'll add some of my homemade taco seasoning to it, put it in with the cauliflower, sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. It's so good. I know it might not sound good, but it's so good, you guys. Okay. So what am I doing? I got a couple more things I need to put away. So how many of us probably buy our spinach and our lettuce and stuff like that in big bulk containers? Those need to go into my Fridgesmart because, guys, I can tell you, I've done it. All right. I have bought them and didn't have time. And then I left them in this container and a week later I'm throwing them out because they spoiled so fast. So I love using the large deep, and I will just take the lid off. I'm going to throw this in here. Now the salad and spinach, anything leafy, I don't wash them ahead of time. Okay. Because they really don't like moisture. They really don't. So I don't wash them ahead of time. If you do, you absolutely have to let them sit out and dry completely before you store them, because otherwise they spoil really fast. So they don't like to be wet. Now this, guys, you can't tell, but I can actually squish this down in here. I could put another one of those great big containers right in here and pack it in there. It likes to be packed tight. It is awesome. Now, your spinach, we have kind of I'll talk spinach second. We have a no wiping rule. So in my peppers and my cauliflower, my berries, things like that, you're going to see water accumulate. You're going to see droplets of water in here. You're going to open it up. You'll see water on the lid. That moisture is a good thing, because what happens in our fridge, the fridge is actually a really bad place to store our food, but where we live, we need to store it in the fridge, because what the fridge does, as opposed to fridges of 50, 60 years ago when you had to chip the ice out of them, today's fridges, actually, when you hear the motor humming, it's drawing the moisture out of the air. So anything in your fridge that's not in an airtight container, every time the fridge cycles and draws the moisture out of the air, dehumidifies it, right? So we're not having ice build up in there. It's drawing the moisture out of your food at the same time. So by putting it into Fridgesmart, it's keeping the moisture in with our food. So if you see water building up in here, that's okay. Give it a nice little tap on top before you go to open it, and give your vegetables, your fruit in there a nice little bath. They're just going to soak it right up. And it's a good thing. It's telling you that moisture is staying in your fruit or vegetable. So check it out that way. Okay. So I've got my peppers in here. Little tip with your peppers, store them stem side down, because you know what? Those darn little stems, that's the first place it's going to rot. Have you ever noticed that? First place, this one has a little bruise on it, I see. Okay. First place it will rot is around your stem. So store it down. That way the water isn't pooling in that stem and causing it to rot even faster. So a little tip for you there. Now, the exception to the wiping rule are your leafy things, your lettuce, your spinach, stuff like that, because they don't like moisture. So those ones, if I see a lot of water accumulating, I'll take the cover off and I'll wipe it. But quite often they're okay. I have my spinach here. Now, what I do with my spinach, typically about half of it goes into my container. So I'm just going to put some spinach into here right now. Okay. This is part of my whole prep thing for the week. If you guys want to learn more about meal prepping, definitely think about booking a party with me and we could do a meal prep class. Now, this spinach was actually a little bit wet when I'm not on here because it'll take too much time. I'm actually going to take it out, put it on the counter and let it dry a little bit. Okay, because I want it nice and dry. It will last longer in there. So now I got my spinach and my lettuce. Stick those back in the fridge. I'll make sure my vents are where they're supposed to be. Yes. Closed. Done. Okay. They're in there. This can go back in. Peppers can go back in. All right. Now I have all the spinach left. You're like, Naomi, what are you going to do with it? Well, we make smoothie mixes ahead of time every single week. So I pull out my freezer mate small deeps and I'm just going to quickly take and put a cup of spinach, that's usually a good handful, into each one. And then when we're off camera, I will add some strawberries or blueberries or whatever fruit you like. Usually half a cup of them. Half a banana goes into there, makes it a little bit sweeter. I need one more container. Usually I get about 4 of these out of half that package of spinach. So I'm meal prepping my smoothies for the week while I'm putting my produce away, right? Everything works together. Orange lids. There we go. Go on them. All right. Whew, how many of you are learning something? I don't even know who's still here with me. This is going way longer than I thought it would, but I have so much to share with you. Guys, I want you to remember that all of the stuff I'm telling you, you're not necessarily going to do all of this at your party, okay? Pick the features, advantages, benefits you like the most. You want your demo to typically be about 20 minutes, 25, 30 at the top, okay? Because you don't want to bore them, right? They only typically pay attention for about 15 and then you start to lose them. So you want to change things up. But I'm just sharing with you guys kind of everything so you can pull out the parts that you love the best. Now, basic fridge set, the 4 pieces. You want to offer it in sets. So that would be my basic set, the 4-piece Fridgesmart set, basic set. But guys, you'll notice there's lots of other things I use in my fridge. Where did I put my stackables? Oh, I pulled them up. Never mind. I'm good. You'll see there's lots of other things that get used in my refrigerator, not just Fridgesmart. So then you can build a set. So I could add on a medium set, which would add my Piccadilly container for my pickles. My girls go through dill pickles like they're going out of style. So I love this because it leaves the juice in the bottom. I can pull the pickle up and grab it. No fishing around with the fork, trying to get my pickles out. So I would add a Piccadilly to my middle size set. And I would add the fridge stackable family set. Now this is my old style fridge stackables. I don't have the new one. I'm not special like you, but I love these containers. And you can see mine are empty because I need to buy deli meats and stuff now. It's new week starting. So I put my different kinds of deli meats in here. Again, take them out of their wrapping, just put them in here. They're airtight. They're going to stay nice and fresh and beautiful. Put them into here. They're going to extend the life of your deli meats, probably about 3 to 5 days. The big one, I'll put my block of cheese and stuff into the bottom of there. I also actually use a Fridgesmart small deep to store cheese in. I'll buy the great big blocks at Costco, cut it into a third of it gets grated, a third of it gets sliced, and the other third goes into my Fridgesmart small deep. So I'll put the sliced cheese into here. The grated cheese, store it in a Fridgesmart in my fridge. So I've always got grated cheese ready to go. And then the block I put into the Fridgesmart for later. The more you touch your cheese, the faster it's going to mold. So by slicing it, grating it, whatever you're going to do with it right away, you know you're going to use that up. I'm not holding and touching that block 25 times when I want to cut one slice of cheese. It's already cut up and ready to go. Okay, so these would be 2 great add-ons for a medium set. And then if you want a fridge deluxe set, I might add on a set of Wonder Lear bowls, might add on a couple Fridgesmart smalls to go with it. I would definitely encourage them for their fridge organization to add on the little cutting boards and a knife. So you can build your sets however you want them to be, okay? And like I said, make sure you're teasing them with other products. Freezer mates. Guys, you want to learn more about meal prepping? Hook up with me and we'll do a freezer class. Show off the stack cooker. So I could have your supersonic. I could have used the fruits and veggies and made a quick salsa in my supersonic. So you can tie in so many other products just around your fridge class. I'm not talking tons about them. I didn't go into all the benefits of the supersonic. I just showed it off, right? But I can tie in those products that lead to future datings, lead to sales of other things. So guys, I hope as you watch this that you're learning. I want you to give me a shout out in the chat. Tell me one thing you learned today, either about the stack cooker or about the Fridgesmart containers. I would love to hear from you. Hope you had fun on Fab Friday. And hey, I'll be back a little while later this afternoon with Shut the Front Door Friday to talk about all the amazing stuff that's actually going on in Tupperware. Thanks for tuning in, my friends, and I will see you soon.